Where did you watch the game?
At home with my family.
How sad were you when, like, what level? I sat and I stared, you know, that whole bit when the music's going, I was just staring at, like, the empty seats. I genuinely think I sat there for about 8 minutes without moving.
What, full time?
Yeah. Everyone had left. I was literally just like, thinking about the run-in spreadsheet.
I got over it quite quickly because I also didn't think we were going to win it. And you know, I found it very hard to say that on the pod last week, to the point where I didn't say it.
Yeah.
But I was...
It was James speak.
Yeah.
Well, if the...
2-2, anything could happen. My friends, I did not think we were winning. So I wasn't surprised, and that makes it a little bit easier to deal with. But when the goals went in, it hurt. It did.
I think on a relative scale of sadness, it would be embarrassing how high that ranked compared to like certain life events.
Really, for you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like if you could go through my life and go like, you know, pets dying, like things like that. When that Nico O'Reilly second one went in, I wouldn't even want to rank how sad I felt in that moment compared to like other certain things. It really got me.
Oh, wow.
Because we're better.
I know.
We're better than them.
Yeah, I think...
And it's Pep.
Yeah, I hear it. That's so interesting.
Yeah,
I
really
feel like I brushed this one off quite quickly.
Maybe I need to do your gimmick of just saying we're going to lose.
Mentally prepare yourself.
There are people who do that genuinely in football. They basically bet on losing every single time because then you're either right or you win. And I know those people. I know them.
Sure. I mean...
Like, we're going to lose. It's like, okay, so either you're going to be right and you have that satisfaction, or you win and you have that satisfaction.
Well,
that's why you said that.
Well, that's true. I mean, I'd love to say that was my play. The problem is that I've already said we're winning 2 other trophies. So I can't really...
I said we're winning the quadruple, mate.
I can't... Oh, okay.
Still might if City get charged. Who knows? Yes, guys, welcome back to The Knockabout on TDK Plus. Your therapy has arrived. We are here. We are back. It is Tuesday morning. We are here to discuss the Carabao Cup final.
Oh my word, he's just had a...
Just shut down.
It's just all... It's like... It's like something out of a movie.
And I'm here with my boy.
Are you feeling better?
James Bayliss. I'm still not all right.
Oh, wow, okay.
Genuinely, yeah.
No, can I say... Fair enough. We lost
Yeah.
the cup final. You should feel super down.
Yeah.
I don't. I've recovered quite quickly from this one. But
I'm really... Yeah, I'm not good. It really hurt me. I think the fact that I was there and I was where I was as well, there was an 8-year-old City fan in front of me. So I couldn't really like get anything out by shouting at anyone. And Sky were very nice and put me in hospitality, which was very nice. And so it was that kind of vibe. It was like I couldn't be calling the ref what I wanted to call him.
sure. He had a terrible game, I thought, by the way.
And the kid in front of me, because I couldn't get anything out. So I think I'm still holding in all of the frustration of the game. Like when Nico O'Reilly scored, I'm not joking, my reaction was... Like I had no, it wasn't like there was nothing.
Yeah.
So today's that day. Why don't we just get a punching bag and I'll just...
Yeah. Where do you want to start? There's a lot.
Tennis?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're into your tennis,
French
mate.
Open predictions. Let's do it.
I do love Alcaraz.
Yeah, he's class. We could do with an Alcaraz in this team.
Yeah.
Someone who plays with a bit of
bite.
dare.
Bit of fork.
Yeah, just could pull something out of nothing, yeah. Bit of magic.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay, go.
That I think I asked after another game, knockabout. Are we bottlers? No, it was, are we boring? That was it. Are we bottlers?
I like both questions.
And can I start? I don't think we are. And I was thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking about this a lot post-game. This feels to me like the first time Arsenal have been in a one-off game absolutely, for me, the favourites. better team, in better form, at a better time of the year, better prepared. At Wembley, we've got a good record. Like everything felt like it was going our way. Beforehand, we've fallen short, but that's not the same thing as bottling. That isn't, to me, those aren't the same thing. Bottling is you have something, you are in the ascendancy, you're 3-4-0 up, and then you bottle it.
Yeah, and the conditions are perfect for you to go do it.
Exactly, and then you bottle it. Mm-hmm. Falling short, yeah, we're going to have a different conversation, or not being good enough, different conversation. But bottling, no. And I do feel, maybe this is pure copium, that there is something in this game with them watching City have to win lift the title at the end, where they went, we are actually better than you, in my opinion. We are actually a better side than you. We didn't show that. And I just really hope that pain comes through.
Well, I think it's a really good point. I think it's the first time we've lost to City in a head-to-head where it's mattered like this. I think you can maybe you go back to 2023 when we lost 4-1, but they didn't win the title.
That's the last time we lost to them.
Yeah, they all but won the title that day, but they didn't officially win it that day. And you're right. When I look at the title races that they've beaten us in, we weren't better than City. We just did an unbelievable job to keep up and be in some kind of conversation. Last year, you're right, PSG were the best side in Europe and we lost fair and square. I actually thought we made a good account of ourselves. So yeah, that's a fair point. And then people might mention the other cups, and that's a fair point. But, on the biggest stage when it kind of felt like there was something there, yeah, I would agree. This is the first time we have lost a game where I thought, no, but you were the favourites. You had the form going in. People were backing you to do it. But I'm still not that surprised we lost.
Maybe Newcastle in the cups, but again, I'm talking about a one-off.
Oh yeah,
a one-off game. A final. I mean, we haven't been in enough finals. I mean, but again, that's
actually Newcastle. Maybe, yeah, fair point.
Yeah, maybe we bottled over 2 legs. That was poor. But yeah, I don't know, because I'm trying to get the sense of this team, and I don't believe it. I don't believe that Saliba's a bottler or Rice is. I just don't buy that.
So that's so interesting. What I mean? I was absolutely agreeing with everything we were just saying for a second, but then, well, no, but you mentioned Newcastle, a good point, and I know it's a completely different group, but it does make me think of Villarreal over 2, and I know that was years ago, and I know it was a completely different group, and
I just can't. I think it's too long ago.
It is, but I do think there's it's difficult because only a year prior to that, Arteta won the FA Cup, and he looked anything but a bottler in that situation. So look, Bottle's extremely strong. I definitely think Arsenal have a lack of ability to force something over the line, and we're a little bit trying to systematically tiptoe our way, and that therefore allows for things to go wrong. Basically, there's a bigger margin for error, I think. Now, when I was sitting here really, I wasn't confident on last week's pod, and you could all tell. And I never want to come on a channel or a podcast and say for a cup final, 2-1 City. Don't think we'll do it. I will never want to put that out there, but I also can't lie. So 2-2. Yeah, we might do it. That's kind of how I'm trying to play it. So if I'm ever like that, people, James, I think we're going to win. If I haven't outright predicted us to win, then I don't think we're going to. And I think the big reason is because we play football that is so decided by fine margins. I just thought there was every chance that Man City's, and I actually didn't realise this till after I watched the game, but I was like, oh yeah, that's why I wasn't confident, because of course Kepa spills it into his own net, where Raya's kind of keeping it out the back of the net against Everton or whatever, and we find a way. I just sort of thought, yeah, it takes one error, or you just don't track O'Reilly into the box once, or just something. And then lo and behold, we don't have the firepower to break them down or make something happen. Havertz misses the one big chance. I don't know. I just thought we play so on the margins. On another day, we actually might have won that game 1 or 2-0. But I'm just not surprised it went that way.
Football, though. Football is played on the margins. The bigger... I don't know. This whole, Arsenal play on the margins. I understand it, but I think that feels upstream from a different issue, which is how we set up in that game, but then probably more broadly our chance creation issues, I would say. And I think the reason it feels like we play on the margins is because we don't create enough chances, basically. I think
that's completely fair.
I don't know. Football is a margins game. It's a low scoring sport.
100%.
So and that's why it's actually so brilliant, because it can produce these ridiculous outcomes from one moment. You could absolutely be the better side, dominate, do absolutely everything right, one breakaway, and you lose the most important game of your life. And that's the agony and the ecstasy of being a fan, right? But I don't know if it's the Arsenal. I think it's our chance creation, and I think specifically in this game, I've spoken about it, I'm sure you have, about City's block and how they dealt with us and started progressing the ball. So I won't necessarily go into that from a tactical perspective because we probably both covered that. You must have covered that.
A little bit, just verbally.
I've certainly covered it, so I don't really want to go there. But chance creation in generally, are we creating enough chances? And it's one of the hardest things in football. I know I got absolutely killed with my Bruno Fernandes take, and I'm not going to go back there. But one of the reasons I said it is because his chance creation, he's got like more. I'm digging myself a hole here. It's the hardest thing to do in football, in my opinion, is to create consistent chances and big chances. Before putting the ball in the back of the net. And so it's not easy. I'm not sat here saying, come on, Arsenal, just make more chances. It's not, but we're talking about Havertz. Was that the biggest chance we created all? I can't think of another one.
Well, 100%. But
and that's the issue, is that, and it's all downstream of it. And then it's like, okay, well, why aren't we creating enough chances? And then it depends on the game and the picks and whatever. But to me, the consistent theme at Arsenal feels like we're not creating enough chances. But then the problem is, James, as you know, I'll be like, okay, we're not creating enough chances. Now I look at the XG and I'm like, yeah, maybe a little bit. And then we'll have a game where we create loads of chances, like against Leverkusen. I'm like, oh, it's not a problem. And then we come back to this sort of game, like, we're not creating enough chances. And then my rational brain goes, okay, so maybe we're probably just creating enough, but there's certain games where we don't, and those are flashpoints or whatever. So I don't know. I'm kind of lost.
No, and I think that's why I've had these exact same thoughts. And I think that's why I've moved away from it just being purely a chance creation thing. So with City, for example, I just said 5 minutes ago that actually we could have won this game 1 or 2-0. Now, some people, they'll go, what? We got absolutely bopped off the park second half. What are you talking about? Well, if Kai Havertz takes not our biggest chance, but the biggest chance of the game, it was the best chance of the game. It's, the O'Reilly one is spilled by Kepa, and then, okay, maybe the second one. But ultimately, we should be 1-0 up. It's a huge chance. Now, I'm not going to do the Arteta Martinelli thing of basically berating the one guy who had one chance all game. But then Calafiori hits the post, Jesus hits the crossbar, or another day Kepa doesn't spill it.
The Jesus one, yeah.
Like, there's also another world in which we've nicked that game 2-1 or 1-0, or actually it's 1-1 and we've gone to extra time. The reason I say margins isn't necessarily just because of the chance creation thing, because I don't actually think City created that many chances. I think once they went 1-0 up, them bopping the ball like that is always going to look super impressive. And rightly so. I thought they were very good that second half. But let's also acknowledge Kepa should catch that ball.
Yeah.
He catch that ball. It's a really simple one. Yeah. It's a really simple one. So the reason I go back to the margins thing is more because Arsenal in the first half couldn't get past a 4-man. It wasn't even a press. It was just a 4-man higher mid block from City.
It was zonal.
Yeah. And at no point did we go, right, everyone up the pitch, get around Kai Havertz and Saka, we're lumping it, win second duels, make this a bit random. So when I say margins, I more mean like, maybe it's not even the right word. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But maybe...
No. Sorry.
Can Arteta just break the game?
Yes.
Can we just go, right, we're going to make it chaotic and random. We're just going to make it chaotic and random, and then something might come from that. And at no point did Arsenal want to do that, nor do I ever think that's our... We never... What's the word? Starts with an R. We never go to that. We never do that. What's the word?
Resolve?
We never...
Someone in the comments will tell us.
Carry on. It will come to me.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
I think that is a great point. And maybe... And also because we control the opposition so much. You're right. It does feel... It's not like City had 15 chances and that's not a game of fine margins. They had like 2 and they scored them both. And that's why it feels that way. And did they have other big chances? Semenyo maybe had 1, did he? Can't remember. Anyway,
maybe.
But I think you're right. It's a combination of that, and it's also we don't want to make the game random. We're so keen on
revert.
Thank
you. We never revert to that. That's the word I was looking for. Crack on.
Anyway,
we don't want to make the game. We don't want to make.
Do you ever do that thing where you you're in a conversation and then like 3 hours later you're like, oh, I had such a good point. I should have said that.
Yeah. 100% after every match reaction.
Yeah.
Every match reaction I upload, I later go, oh, I've got much better thoughts now. we don't want to make it random.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it a little bit. And I think the reason I find that disappointing is because I do not like Kai Havertz in the 10/striker. I don't like it. For me, he's a 9. Otherwise, I don't want him playing. However, the one thing he gives you is quite tall, cover space as well. You go long to him. Even if he doesn't win it, he's at least a nuisance. Rice and Zubimendi, I'll never forget what they did to Bayern Munich. Very technically gifted side. And they just ran all over them. Maybe we're tired. Maybe City made us tired by the way they popped the ball about. But I don't know why we didn't at any point want to make that game a bit more random.
Yeah. And then it makes things like the late sub even more of a problem. And it leans out of that. And it's Mikel's MO. It's basically control the game, dominate. And you know, as we always talk about, there's a shadow to every game model. This is what we spoke about before with after the Wolves game. There's a shadow to every game model, but I think that's why defeats feel particularly the way they do with Arsenal. Yeah, and
they feel like we didn't try. They didn't feel like we didn't leave it all out there. They feel like we didn't really have a go. But this is just not what Arsenal want to do. Even when we got the late winner against Everton, we weren't knocking on that door. It wasn't relentless pressure. It was an attack. Ball goes back, play out the back. Rice trying to figure out how we play through Everton, then we do. That's just how they wanted to problem solve this year. I don't necessarily agree with it, but you know, 2 weeks ago I was delirious on this channel saying, strap in. There's going to be some bad days. There'll be some good days because our game model means that if we played that exact cup final 10 times, we probably win 4 or 5 of them. Yeah. Maybe 3 or 4, then maybe another 3 or 4, maybe go to extra time. Like, that is but we're always in a game. Always in a game. What's kind of been what's gone on the radar this year is our record in Big 6 games has plummeted. Yeah. You know, we went 2 years without losing one. This year, apart from battering Tottenham, which everyone does, we lost to Man United. We certainly didn't look good in the game at Old Trafford, but we did win. The Chelsea games, unconvincing. Yeah, Liverpool one of them was 10 men. Yeah, Liverpool have picked up 4 points out of 6 against us. City. We drew at the end. Yeah, absolutely. Now, the reality is we were in every single one of those games. Every single one we were in, and we could have won. And it could have gone the way it did with Chelsea, which was, we nicked it or a point away or whatever. The reality is, though, we're not as complete a side, but we are just in every single game. Even the 4 games we've lost, at some point you looked at them and went, we could have won those. That's true of all 4 defeats.
Let's try and pick our way through some topics then off the back of that.
Yeah.
International break now.
Yeah.
So thanks to the 7 of you watching. Are you happy about that?
Yeah, I am.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
I do think it can have a positive impact. I guess my feeling is maybe like, as a fan, I want another game tomorrow. But I think maybe for the players, it's a good thing.
Can I make you feel better?
No.
No, because this actually did help. Once we are playing football again, Southampton away, it's our first game back, win that, and we've booked a place at Wembley again. So our immediate response to losing at Wembley can be a win that books us a place at Wembley.
I think the last time we had a game week without 2 or more games there was the Chelsea-Tottenham. That was when we beat Tottenham, and then we played Chelsea a week later. That was then. Yeah. The last time was December the 13th or something like that.
Crazy.
We've been on this crazy run, and let's be clear, a lot of the time we've won. Like we've won a lot.
Yeah.
And I do think a little reset, a little refresh. Also, just like the conversations that you can have with, you know, Melina and Heinze and Arteta and stuff, those types of conversations, a bit more reflective, a bit more like viewing that block, viewing the next block, and they can be a bit more wider, because ultimately I suspect a lot of their conversations are about, okay, Everton, how do you beat Everton? What do you do with Everton? You can't have that conversation. It's very hard at that point to go, sorry, I know we're playing them tomorrow. Mikel, have we got a chance creation issue generally more wide? You can't really do that.
I imagine you can't, no.
And I hope that there's some conversations going on behind closed doors in this time of like, okay, let's review everything. What are the big trends? What are the big reasons, etc.? Because and we're also in a really
they
good
barely
position.
Train.
Yeah,
Arteta said that we don't.
But
He was asked about training, so we don't really.
You can't, because every team is so prepared now. You can't. I imagine you can't do very much like general vibe work.
Yeah,
that's what they call it.
Yeah.
in professional football circles.
Welcome to the vibe session.
This is the general vibe work.
Yeah.
But you're doing a lot of like, right, Everton this. So how do we move that fullback around or whatever?
Yeah, I really hope people take what I'm about to say in like the right way. I know we are so privileged to do what we do, making content. I'm so lucky that it's my full-time work. It's being here, it's doing the Gooniverse, it's Loose Cannons. I'm so
Should
so
hear him off
lucky.
screen, honestly. He's,
Yeah.
isn't he, Will? It's just disgusting.
Slagging it all off the community, everyone. But I, as a content creator, feel quite tired. All I have to do is turn on a camera and talk. It's an absolute privilege.
Think of the content creators, guys. Think of us.
I'm so lucky to do what I do. I'm very aware of that. But what I'm saying
Someone
is...
called me a Nazi on X. Think of me.
What did they actually? Oh, my word.
On par with Hitler. That was the phrase.
Oh, my word. And what I'm trying to say is, how must the footballers be feeling who are actually playing the football, who are actually getting kicked,
actually have a hard
who
job,
actually have to travel, who actually have to do the training, who actually have to take on the instruction, who actually then have another life when they put the football aside, who actually have to do the travel. Now, I'm not actually tired. I'm not saying the job is exhausting. I'm saying even I'm like, 2 weeks of not talking about Arsenal. Good. Just 2 weeks of just... And the thing is, I will continue talking about Arsenal because it's my job and I love it. And it's a pleasure and it's a privilege, and thank you to all of you who tune in. But I'm just saying that it kind of almost, when you are the one thing that people who either follow every game and go to every game do, or are just super fans, or who make content, and the players, the one thing we all have in common is we're watching the schedule, we're watching the calendar and the amount of games, and we're planning our work and our working life around it. And even I'm like, God, it's been an intense 4 months. It's just been relentless. That's been amazing. We've played so much football, and I'm delighted that Arsenal have played that much football, because it means we've been competitive, we've had more wins to enjoy, and that's what Arsenal Football Club should be doing. But I can't pretend I don't think this break is a good thing. No. I actually think, if given the choice, this is exactly when I'd have wanted it. Post Carabao Cup final, we either win and sit on it and great, or we lose and it's like, okay, that just nicely rounds off that chapter, and now we're back for these. Can you imagine if we had a 2-week break and it was coming back for the Carabao Cup final, and then there's 3 other competitions? I'm glad we've wrapped that up. It's a shame we didn't win. It really genuinely is. I really wanted that trophy. I now hate it. I hate the Carabao Cup. What a complete, utter waste.
Stupid anyway. We didn't want to win it.
What a complete waste of time that whole run was. It was. It's a complete waste of time.
We had fun along the way, didn't we?
But yeah,
I think about it, and I do, speaking from personal experience, everyone knows that feeling of like, it's late at night and you're working on a project and it just feels like such a slog. I bet you have it with editing. You're like working on Will up till 3 a.m. working on something. And then you're like, oh, I just got to get this done. I got to get this done. And then you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, this feels a bit easier. It's just literally just a little bit of distance from it. Things start to flow a little bit more easier. And that is, we all have that. When I'm writing stuff, I'll be in it for like 4 hours. I'm scripting a video and I haven't quite cracked the thing I'm trying to say, whatever it is. I'll go have lunch, come back, and I'm like, oh, this is what it is. And I do think that mental reset is really, really needed, specifically for certain players. I think Zubimendi in particular, I want to come on to some individuals in a second. Zubimendi in particular, Rice, Saka, I thought was poor on Sunday. We have to say it. I defended Saka on this podcast, and I stand by everything I said in terms of the underlying numbers. But in that final, he wasn't good. Yeah, and that's okay. He wasn't particularly set up to be good. Wow. And this idea that Saka's the problem at Arsenal, seriously give your head a wobble. But he wasn't good, and that's okay. But yeah, I think the reset is really good. Before we go on to
I wanted to add something about on that reset point. It's okay for us to also say that with Arsenal, everything does feel a bit more intense. Now, some people are going, well, yeah, that's the fans. I don't think it's just the fans, but I think the fans are right to feel how they feel. But it's also, let's take Man City, let's take Liverpool. Liverpool got the Carabao Cup. It's not really a big deal. They won the league last year. They won the Carabao Cup the year before that. They actually got to the Carabao Cup final the year before that. I think they've won 2 of the last 3 or 4 Carabao Cups. So it doesn't really matter. They just won the league. The bigger questions are, well, what are you going to do in the FA Cup or Europe? But now they don't know that they're even going to get Champions League football, and Slot's still got his job. Now, you can all debate whether that's right or wrong, but every single football match for Arsenal this season has felt massive because there's even Mansfield away. I'll tell you why, because can't lose to Mansfield away. You can't. It's embarrassing. You can't lose to Man. So even the ones where you go, we can rotate. We'll try back three. We'll play 2 16-year-olds. We're gonna. It's a massive game. You can't possibly lose to Mansfield away. Not
60
get to
minutes. I was like,
every game is massive. You're playing 17th at home. Yeah. Actually, that's Tottenham. You're playing 14th at home. It's a big game in the title race. This
you can't lose it.
Can't slip up in this one. But if we were playing third away, this is what are you about? How much do you want it? You can't lose this one. Every single game has had that kind of, and I'm watching every single game like this.
Yep.
And that's why I enjoyed making my way through an airport on the way to a flight to Cape Town. Just actually not really paying that much attention.
Changed your life, that, didn't it?
It really did.
I think in particular for this Arsenal team, a reset is massive. And that's also, I don't want to go into this now because I've done this on various bits of content. It's that exact reason is why the Kepa thing annoyed me, because the context of this season is so massive. I get the Kepa pick if we'd won something. If we were in City's position, if Kepa was 23 and it was an asset we were trying to keep a hold on, we're not. So it's irrelevant. This I really annoy me anyway. I don't want to go there.
Are you sure? Maybe we should explore it a bit more.
Do you disagree?
I know. I don't think Kepa should have played this final.
Same.
For the reasons. A lot of the Arsenal fan base have been angry with Jamie Carragher recently. Some I understand. Some I think is a bit harsh. But I thought his analysis was spot on.
Yeah, I agree.
He said, Pep Guardiola, who's won this trophy many, many times, who signed Trafford to be a number one, who they paid a hefty transfer fee for, owed him a degree of opportunity, and especially if he's got you there, and he keeps a shirt. Arteta doesn't owe Kepa anything.
Yeah.
And we needed a trophy more than we needed to make sure Kepa was quite happy.
Agree.
And I think we got that wrong.
Before we move on to some individuals, do you think this affects the title race specifically, as in the Premier League title race? Do you think this... Because my worry now with City out of the Champions League is they've been given a bit of an incentive. This is all narrative and whatever. I mean, who knows whether it actually affects things. I do stand by what I said before. I don't think Declan Rice... I don't think anything changes for any of these players in terms of like how much they want the league or whatever. Maybe it gives them a 1% more, whatever. And I would love that. And I think that could make all the difference. But a bit of a contradiction there. But I suppose what I'm saying is like, where does this put us in the title race conversation? Does this have any impact for you?
It doesn't for me. But I'm also wary. I'm not a City player or an Arsenal player. So City might be in that changing room going, perfect. That's what we needed. We needed a 90-minute mentality shift where we reminded them what we're about and we reminded ourselves we're better than them. And maybe Arsenal have that wobble mentally where they go, again, a straight shootout with City, we didn't come out with the trophy. So there's every chance all that happens. But the reason I don't believe it has a major, major impact is A, our attention is divided still across 3 competitions. Everything I was just saying, you can't lose Southampton in the quarters. So then if we get through, there's Wembley. And if we get through, that's a Wembley trip. Like whoever we're playing, that's going to be big. Obviously Sporting, there's a chance at a semi-final there. I'm not saying that'll be easy. And then we return to the Southampton game. Then we play Bournemouth at home while Chelsea host City. Then we go to the Etihad. But that first Premier League game for City is just shy of a month from when they dropped points against West Ham. Just shy of a month after. It's a long time to sit on A, that gap, B, the trophy win. It's just I'm not sure anything's happening quick enough for Arsenal not to just mentally reset and City to not have not a come down, but just they're not playing Arsenal at the Etihad next week. That's still like 3-4 weeks away. Yeah. So maybe I'm being I'm being delusional.
No, I think actually, I think you can lose a league in like a week. It's very hard to say from a mental perspective. Yeah. I think over the course of a couple of months, there's other things going on.
Exactly that.
Like it's like you can go from one game to the next game to the next game, and it's just a psychological. Oh my god, this is spiraling. I think it's hard to say it was a psychological thing when it's months before you actually play. So I buy that. as I said at the beginning, I just want to get back on the saddle. I want to play again, but I'm going to have to be patient because for everything we've said, these players need that rest. And I think we as fans need to try and not get too tetchy. I'm talking to myself really, like not get too tetchy because of the position that we're in. Is it bad, James? If we went out of the FA Cup, I wouldn't mind. Is that bad?
I would mind. I would.
The only thing that has swung it in City's favour now is the fact that they don't have to play the Champions League.
Okay, so I mean, it again depends how you frame the question. Are you saying to me, is that red button question? Are you saying to me, James, right now, would you take the Premier League and nothing else? If I'm answering it in that way, I'm saying, no, it's not bad that we go out the FA Cup and Champions League. We've won the Premier League, we're going to enjoy that, and it'd be amazing we've had a good season. But yet, in principle, there's not a part of me that goes, yeah, just fall out of that. Having said that, though, my opinion on the Carabao Cup has changed drastically after this. It really does. I mean, next season, I would like us to rest and rotate a lot more, even at semi-final stage, because I think 180 minutes of football, intense football, went into Zubimendi and Declan Rice's legs.
Damn, if only someone
Chelsea.
said this at the beginning of the season and got killed for it.
This is hindsight analysis because we didn't win. But now I wish Norgard had played more of those games. I wish Mourinho, when he was fit, had played more of those games because what was it all for? Like for a Carabao Cup, I want the Carabao Cup. I don't diss any trophy, but it was never going to define our season. And now we're kind of more exhausted for it. That's a personal vendetta I have on the Carabao Cup. I've seen us lose that final 4 times. I hate it. But also, I also know what the narrative and feeling would have been.
Yeah.
After it. So I'm a little bit like next season, but we're also not blessed with trophies where we can say, oh, just bin that one. I'm not saying bin it off, but when Man United won it, they had an ideal run. You get a squad, use the squad in that competition, because now looking back, a lot of intense minutes were given to something that's proven a complete waste of time. And I know that's also football, but I wouldn't feel that way about the FA Cup or the Champions League. I'd go, you know what, it happens.
And at least it was maybe worth the, I mean, I don't know.
But I wouldn't be happy falling out the FA Cup, personally.
Yeah, again, it's my self-preservation, like just trying to find any advantage. I don't know. I think we can compete across, I felt we could compete across 4 competitions, so I must feel we can compete across 3. Yeah.
Well, okay, so, I mean, it's so funny because I do think a little bit of what I'm doing, a lot of what I'm doing is kind of copium here. I went into this season just saying take every trophy seriously. And I'm glad we took the Carabao Cup seriously. Like, I don't want to rewrite history. I wanted us to go strong for the Chelsea games. At the time when we were looking at that January run, I said, where 9 games in a month, where can we rotate? I said, Chelsea is not one of them. You go strong for that game. It's a semi-final. So I know what I'm saying it's not real what I'm saying. It's not true. It's not how you should look at it. It's just having known we've lost.
Yeah.
My feelings at the competition are just like, well,
yeah.
I'm annoyed at it.
So when when you ask a girl out, she says, no, well, I didn't want to date you anyway.
Yeah, a little bit. That's a little bit how I feel, I'll be honest.
Well, I've put on this shirt and I've done all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've come
for
out.
What?
And I'm in the bar and I've bought you a drink and I've asked you out and you've said no.
But the FA Cup and Carabao and the Champions League, they do hold more weight than the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup it's such a huge part of our history.
Yeah.
And we do have and I'm not disrespecting Southampton, but it's championship opposition away from home. Apparently they're on a great unbeaten run or something. I don't know. So we've got them, that's in the way of a place at Wembley. Also, the fact it's our first game back means we can go weirdly quite strong. I think it'd be quite a good momentum builder. We've got Sporting. I don't think we can rotate super heavily.
Little pre-season running game kind of type thing.
And when we lose, that'll look bad.
Yeah.
But basically, Cool Kepa's going to play that. But I think you can go like Mosquera and Gabriel, for example. Yeah. Or Saliba and Nkapia. I think you could do something like that. I think you can go Norgard and Rice, or Zubimendi and maybe Erdegaard and Eze. If they're fit, who knows what's going on with them.
Yeah.
There's a question you asked at the beginning of this kind of section. I've forgotten, but it was a good question. But you were basically talking about the FA Cup and how important it is, I think, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I think it is.
Okay, let me put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if we went out of the FA Cup, everyone panicked, and it ended up being a good thing. That's the only thing I'll say about the FA Cup. It ended up being something where we took some fixtures away. That's all I'd say. Also, just to conclude on this bit, I do think the analysis that we're doing some copy analysis here, definitely.
For sure.
But I do think some of the analysis of like the impact of a Carabao Cup that we did last week is kind of coming true. I'm not seeing a lot of like, this is Arsenal done in the title race. We've created enough of a margin that impact, it has been lessened. So I think that is a good thing, and that is something we did say last week, and I do think it's true.
I've been really pleasantly surprised by how little I've seen in the media of this having like a bigger impact on the title race. I think almost because I think even the most kind of trolly of kind of content creators and publications are going, but not really.
It's 9 points.
Because show me a winner that hasn't been a loser at some point.
Yeah.
I've seen Mourinho, I've seen Jurgen Klopp, I've seen Pep Guardiola, I've seen Alex Ferguson, I've seen Arsene Wenger all fail. They've all failed. Like Pep Guardiola last season went trophyless and lost the FA Cup final to Palace. But it's fine. It's tolerated and understood because of everything they've achieved. You can't always get it right, and that's okay. But Arsenal have to dust themselves down because Klopp lost 3 finals before he won one. And when he won that, which was the Champions League final, he still hadn't lifted a Premier League trophy yet. So almost this idea, well, you have to have achieved that before you can achieve that. Everyone's got their own story and their own journey. Everyone's different. Now, a lot of people say, well, the Carabao Cup has, for a lot of teams, been that kind of kickstarter towards winning the league. That's true. There's a lot of evidence for that. There's a lot of evidence that that's not the case.
What happened to Newcastle? We've gone backwards.
Man United,
everyone's got their own story.
Man United and Ten Hag won the Carabao Cup, and from literally that moment, because they were on a real trajectory, they're playing good football, they're getting big results, they look competitive at the Emirates, they did really well. From that moment, it all fell off a cliff. From that moment, from that point towards the end of that season, and then the following season, and he won an FA Cup. What did that do for them? So we always try to do 1 + 1 = 2 because history's told us that, but it doesn't. So Arsenal players just need to brush it off. If we'd won it, enjoy it, use it as fuel, go again. You've lost, forget it. Okay, you've had an experience of a cup final, you face City, learn from it, go again. You were not judged this season by the Carabao Cup. If we'd won a Premier League, and at the end of it, the parade, we had the 2 trophies, the Carabao Cup being one of them, it would have felt amazing. Yeah, we picked up 2 trophies, great, what a season. But if at the end of it all, it was just the Carabao Cup and nothing else, I promise, I would have enjoyed the day. I would have had a great time. It's a trophy. But you would not have had people going, good season. Well done, Arsenal. You just fell short, unlucky. You picked up a Carabao Cup. Good season. No one would have said that.
It wouldn't answer the questions. And I think, the problem, I mean, sorry to slightly break the fourth wall here, but the problem with football analysis in general is you're trying to, what's that phrase, build the plane while it's flying, whatever it is. It's like you're trying to add narrative while things are going on.
Yeah,
and
you are.
Right now we don't know. This could be the thing that kickstarts Arsenal's season, or it's the beginning of the end. No one knows. No one knows. And I think it's up to us. All we can do now is try and use it in the best way possible. And there is a version, it's not copium to say, there is a version of losing the Carabao Cup final that inspires you to X, Y, and Z. And I hope that's the version and the timeline we're on.
And like you said, and it could be the opposite. But we always look at this from the Arsenal perspective. What about the City perspective? This, I think, got lost a little bit in the build-up. I understand why everyone was saying Arsenal need to win this final. And I get it. Of course we did. We had to overcome City in a one-off game. We had to overcome City when there was a trophy on the line. We had to show that what we've done this season wasn't fluke or wasn't luck and it wasn't just context, but actually that we were the better team. There was every reason, first trophy since 2020, 6 years is a long time. There's every reason for Arsenal to need this more than City. But they're 9 points behind us in the Premier League title race. They've just been knocked out of the Champions League. They've got Liverpool at home next in the FA Cup.
Last year?
Trophyless last year. This, I don't think it will be, by the way. I think there's, well, actually, no, I think we're going to win the FA Cup, so I do. So there's a world, a possibility, in fact, it's my prediction, that this will be Pep's last trophy, which happens to be the first one he ever won. Nice little poetry there. Poetry?
Yeah,
sure. And there's every chance that that's the only cup he wins in 2 years, which for the money they've spent, the standards they've set, the players they've got, the manager Pep is really not good enough.
And probably the best player on Sunday was Semenyo, who, again, they paid £65 million for in January.
And they might have played that final knowing that looks tough. We're out of that.
Yeah.
Got Liverpool home next. This might be our, like, leave it all out there, boys.
Yeah.
This might be our last trophy as a group with Pep, and this might be the...
Yeah. Who knows what he said in the dressing room?
Season.
Who knows what he said in the dressing room? That could have been the day he told them, I'm leaving at the end of the season. We don't know. And that's the problem with football analysis, is we're trying to build the blame while we're flying it.
They win a domestic treble.
Yeah.
They could.
And then it was City's treble-winning season.
And they turn it around with that. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we never stop and go, what does this mean? Because that could be fuel. Pep could be there going, what, everyone's written us off, well, we can achieve that. There's another coach, another set of players, another story, another narrative.
Yeah, and they get to do tactics too, which is yeah.
Do you know the best bit of insight I've had post-final was from Turkish. He said that the Man City fans in that second half were unbelievable. He just said they raised it, they felt it, the noise was there. And you know, we always think of Wembley and the Arsenal fans. We see it as a bit of a second home. We've been there so many times, we've won there so many times. It is northwest London. It's, you know, it's down the road. And I think that was another part of it. I think City and I could hear them on the TV singing the City chants, and I thought, yeah, that, you know, they've made the journey too. They've got that. Maybe they've sensed a little something. Maybe this is their, you know, they don't know Pep's leaving, but maybe this is their Jurgen Klopp. We are singing, enjoying every moment. We still have this manager. There's a lot of different things that play a part in all this. And on the day we lost, but I think we're going to be the winner more often than not between now and the end of the season.
Individuals.
Yeah.
Let's talk some individuals. I don't like Gabriel and Nkapie as a pairing. I think it's too industrial. I think if you had a team full of techie ballers, Cherkeys and those sorts of guys, it might feel less of a problem. But when you've got a left-hand pod of basically Trossard, Rice, Gabriel and Nkapie, I don't like it. I don't like it. I said this in a few pods, but I've not said it to you. I think Gabriel's best form at Arsenal has always come next to more technically gifted left-backs, Zinchenko, Calafiori, and his worst form has always come with the Nkapies and the Tomiyasus.
That's so interesting.
And the well, maybe not the Tierney's, because obviously Tierney was a slightly different type of player, but in this sort of new version of Arsenal. We're not going to get the tactics board out because it's just not the day for that. But there's a reason that the lack of sort of 360 in both of their games, to receive at different angles, to play at different angles, to play at different speeds. I think they're both a little bit rasher in their decisions, which, by the way, helps in the box when you're get it out, or your last ditch tackling, or the Nkapie tackle at the end of the Everton game. It's that sort of thing. There's a bit more. I don't mean this in a bad way at all. Like a bit more sort of not even bad, just bite to their game in a different way. I don't like it as a pairing, and that's okay. It doesn't make either of them bad, because they're not bad. Gabriel is alongside Saliba. The reason that partnership works so well is because they complement each other so brilliantly. Gabriel and Nkapie don't complement each other, especially in the build-up. And I don't think that means they can't be in the same squad. I mean, it can't be sold. It needs to be sold or whatever. Maybe this falls into the Miles Lewis-Skelly conversation. I think that would be last season. I think defensively, Gabriel, maybe another partner he's done well with alongside is Miles. Where are you at with that? I sort of hate to say it because Gabriel's been so brilliant, but it turns him into this hoofer who looks less good on the ball than he is.
I agree. And
it's a shame. There's certain other partnerships in the team. Rice and Zubimendi, I think, will come good, but I've got question marks about it. I do. Like, would a Rice and Miles, or a Zubimendi probably about Zubimendi and Wharton, does that sort of make more sense? Sometimes you get brilliant players who come together and just aren't quite right. White and Saka look brilliant together. Who would have called that a random centre-back from Brighton you sign ends up being our right back and ends up having this unbelievable chemistry with an academy grad? You can't necessarily call it.
So I agree with you on Gabriel and Nkapie. What I find strange about Nkapie is we define players quite quickly. We sort of go, right, well, this is what you do. Kind of like Ben White now is known as the attacking fullback and supposedly isn't that good defensively. But
best 1v1 performance of the season up against Doku. I thought it was brilliant.
I thought Doku yeah, I mean, Doku always looks busy, so he kind of looks better than he is. I thought second half he came to life more, but I thought Ben White handled him quite well. So anyway, on Nketiah, when we signed him, one of the things we were really excited about were his over and underlapping runs, because from left centre-back at Leverkusen, he was bombing up and down that channel, and we knew he had a wicked delivery on him. I mean, the comps and we watched him a little bit, knew that this guy could whip a ball into the box. But then we saw it early days at Arsenal. We nearly won it at Stamford Bridge against 10 men when he was the one who whipped it into Gyökeres, and I think someone took it off him. There's a couple other crosses. I mean, we score at Brentford from an Nketiah cross to Madueke. So I'm also thinking, well, why couldn't he be like a technically gifted, lovely support to an inside forward on the left who's, whipping in dangerous balls into the box, a little bit like Ben White supports on the right. And people see Calafiori as more the support to, he's more like the White player on the left. But he hasn't got a good delivery at all. His crossing is shocking. So anyway, all that to say that Gabriel and Nketiah can work. I just don't like when we're playing out the back. We've been forced all the way back into our penalty area, and they're getting the ball and they're playing it wide, and then he takes a touch. Everything is it almost just kind of moves in the system, like touch, open body, play it wide, touch, open body, and then you realise one of these guys is going to hoof it. It's just about who blinks first. And then you eventually do, and then we lose it. Calafiori came on under a bit of pressure, just like little jink goes inside and he's away, and the game's kind of opened up. And you're going, that's a bit of unpredictability. It's why I've always really struggled with Arsenal fans who hate Zinchenko. I've really never understood it. I understood the project's moved beyond him. He's not good defensively. He's whatever. I mean, he's gone now. I think he's at Ajax. But I never understood, what, so we don't appreciate anything about this player anymore? And kind of true of Arteta, there's nothing he can give us. But he walked into the team, was elite on the ball, played a good few seasons under Pep, helped them win the title on that final day against Villa, and we've kind of made his whole skill set completely redundant. I do find it really interesting. We do that with players a little bit. Lewis Skelly this season, now you could put it down to age and experience, understanding of the position, but when we went and put in a defensive masterclass against Real Madrid, it was Kivior and Lewis Skelly. Looking back on that, that's crazy. It wasn't Gabriel or Calafiori or Nketiah, who are all better defensively than Kivior, in my opinion. And it wasn't any of them at left back either, who are taller, more typically robust players than Lewis Skelly. But they were great defensively against arguably the most frightening attack in world football. Why? Because we've got a good shape. We are, because they're tenacious for a million reasons that you all know.
But I think what you're describing is it's not an exact science. And this is the difficulty. And it's something I push back on with George sometimes. We talk about where he'll say, well, this player definitely needs, an Eza definitely needs someone on the outside. I'm like, I fully hear you on paper. I fully hear you, but you don't know till you see it. And that's the difficult thing. And on paper, Gabriel and Nketiah seems to make some sense because you can have him on the outside. He's played at fullback, he's played at wing back for Leverkusen. It just doesn't quite make sense on paper. The thing that I would maybe find interesting is maybe it doesn't work as a duo, but it works as a trio. Is Ben White and Saka as good without an Odegaard on the inside? I don't know. That's a different question. And my question would be, if Gabriel and Nketiah had someone on the inside who could receive in a different way. Declan Rice, when his hips are facing the goal, I don't love giving him the ball. I don't think that's where he's at his best, and that's where he's saying, give to me, and Gabriel's probably going, no. I don't know if you saw, I'll put this up on screen. I saw this yesterday, and it was a great post from this guy. It's all about, obviously, it's that thing in conversation, isn't it? With certain people, you feel like you have everything to say to them. You could literally say anything. And certain people, you feel like the most boring person on earth. You have nothing to say to them. It's like, why? Because something about the energy and the interaction you're having sort of lifts up certain things and sort of dulls down others. And it's the same concept in football. And it was this still of Zubamendi playing a pass to Miles Skelly in the most ridiculous situation. And I think the post itself, the guy said, there is no progression without reception. And, you can, whether you like that sort of phraseology or not, but it's about the player you're playing it to. And I wonder if Gabriel and Nketiah had a Miles on the inside who they felt, I can give you the ball in that situation. I actually don't even think that player's Zubamendi. I think they feel, because they are a bit more defensively minded, they are a bit more risk averse, and you need that in the team somewhere. You need players who are get it out, clear the ball. My first job is defend. They're not going to want to give the ball to Rice on the half turn. They're probably not going to want to give the ball to a Zubimendi because they see a 6'4" guy coming in to slap him from the outside. If they go, I trust Miles on the inside, that whole dynamic might look completely different as a trio. I don't know. But it's yet another reason why Miles has baffled me this season, and it's gone on even more.
Yeah. Now, I agree with everything you've just said there.
Good, or you're off the podcast.
But to the disappointment of maybe you and a lot of Arsenal fans, I don't think Arteta's trying to solve this. I don't. I don't think... My stomach's rumbling, can you hear it?
I thought it was me.
No, it's me.
That was very loud.
There we go. Yeah, I know, sorry. Morning pod and all that. I haven't had breakfast.
Should have breakfast.
I know, I really should. That's bad.
Meal of the day.
It really is.
Says the man who hasn't had breakfast this morning.
Oh, amazing. What? Well, that's two. Have you had breakfast, Will?
No.
Okay, there we go. Let's go to us.
Should we go for breakfast
Should we all
after?
go for
I feel like we
brunch?
should-
For about 5.5 hours.
Okay, well, nice. I don't think he's trying to solve that. Honestly, I don't think he is. Now, part of it, by the way, is everything we just said. When's the time to like reinvent what you're doing with your left back and your six? And
sometimes sorry to cut you, sometimes you are just going, he's playing Semenyo, playing Capia. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
I do get that.
Yeah, but Zubimendi this season has been a million miles from the player I thought we were getting. Now, that is partly my probably inadequate research and knowledge of the player, but also Arteta has played him and Rice as alternating road runners in midfield. I mean, the amount Zubimendi has been like running up and down that pitch, covering in wide areas. He's very rarely the one actually receiving off the back foot.
Decoy run.
Yeah, he's the decoy run, so Rice can drop in or Odegaard. Now we miss Odegaard. You know,
We're back, baby.
Here we go.
Didn't we talk about this?
It's crazy, yeah.
Every time.
So I'm not sure. We've had sixes over the last few years who were very comfortable receiving the ball under pressure.
Jorginho.
Could turn. Yeah, Lewis Skelly.
Chapel Roan.
You know.
She was good.
Yeah, that was a weird situation. That's not what these sixes are doing right now. And I want to believe they can, but they're certainly not being asked to... We're not funneling all our football through the middle of the pitch, like
Did you
really
see
intensely.
the Kyle Walker thing about Pep and Arteta not liking players playing on the half turn?
No.
It's a really interesting interview. Go and watch it.
The Gary Neville one.
Gary Neville. And he's basically because Pep and Arteta think it takes too long for a player to receive the ball on the half turn and unless probably I don't know, I'm interpreting, but unless you're Messi, where it's just one fluid movement, for a lot of players taking it on the back foot and turning, you've got someone on your back. So I understand going round, you know, maybe going around the shape is a different thing.
Yeah, but
then that means there's certain spaces you just can't access. And again, it is that concern. I just think it's one of those things where you can make an argument for never leaving your house. Ever. You could say, look at the road traffic accidents, look at some guy slipped and fell on my road and you could think about all of the things that could possibly go wrong in your day. I could have an argument, you wouldn't leave the house. You wouldn't leave the house. And no one could argue with you that those things are happening. They are absolutely happening, but it's a way of viewing the world. And if your way of viewing football is, well, if we do that, we might lose the ball there. And if we put the ball into there, we're going to lose the ball again. And if we do it's back to this the conversation we had earlier about chaos. It's just every micro decision. Well, I don't want my sixes receiving here in case they lose the ball there. They might, but it's risk and reward. And it's also not about they're going to, every time the goalkeeper has the ball, the six receives it off the keeper. It's not that. It's just that at times you need to ask your six to do that. Otherwise you have no access to that area of the pitch. Everyone starts to step up and it's a different game. And I just do it for me, the Zubimendi thing, you sort of asked, is it you sort of you hope that he can do it. I think he can. Yeah. I think he's being asked not to.
I agree. Yeah, I completely agree. This is now a wider point, which we can't go into in this pod, but this is not an Arsenal Arteta thing. Before people think that I'm just pinning this on Arsenal Arteta, no. I think we've responded to the climate as much as we've set it in some way. But I was watching, someone shared a comp of Fabregas against AC Milan in the Champions League. can't remember if it was round of 16. I think it was round of 16 against AC Milan in 2007-8 season. And like the football was just, you see someone pass it, give it. Doesn't matter if they've got two players around, doesn't matter if they're wide, doesn't matter if they're central, give it, bam, give it, bam, bam, bam. Keep that ball moving. Now, we didn't win anything. we didn't win the league. I'd rather win the league playing a brand of football that doesn't entertain me. I'd rather be a winner than like an entertaining loser. But I do really hope that the Premier League moves back towards like letting players express themselves. There's this kind of ongoing debate, and Turkish speaks a lot about this, and I can't disagree with him, that we don't have the same footballers that we had 10, 20 years ago, the same entertainers. But I also wonder how many of them do have that raw talent, but the flair is gone. It's coached out of them in some way. There's other things they need to do and other things they need to be good at to kind of be recognised by a coach, because in theory, we should have the same ballers. In theory, it's just a cyclical thing. You know, players come and go. The sports science is better than ever before. The facilities are better than ever before. Players, should have more access to, good 3G pitches and a good football or whatever. And, some might say that that's actually the opposite. Maybe playing on a muddy pitch is the reason your tech gets so good. And I don't know, there's a lot of ways to look at the game. But I just wonder whether there's certain players who are being kind of killed and stifled by what the game is today a lot more. And unfortunately, Arsenal having to be the best at what the current climate of football requires. And again, it goes all the way back to this final. A lot of people will be really gutted with the performance. I was. But I also know that if Arteta was asked to do it again 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, he'd go with probably, bar tweaking maybe one or two players, he'd basically go with the same game model, and he would trust that this time Calafiori's shot goes inside of the post and in, or Trossard gets a touch to it, and Kepa doesn't spill it, and that Havertz chance is taken, and we've nicked the game 2-1. I bet he'd go, he would. On another day, that even though we all looked at it as a terrible performance, he'll look at it as, no, the margins just didn't go our way.
And we're back to the same conversation where it's quite hard to argue when he's in the position he's in all three now competitions. The thing I think though is like, well, I saw someone post the other day, like, when was the last time you saw an Arsenal player 1-2? And I was like, oh yeah. Like the last time I saw someone play it, especially centrally, a 1-2, literally just they run, receive. That's 1-2, what 1-2 is. The thing about I get that in the central spaces, we know it's all more compacted, it's all more physical, etc., etc. But then you have to take more risks elsewhere. That's the point. If you're saying to me, I can't take risks in the central areas because we're going to lose and get transitioned on and blah, 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 absolutely fine. Then I need a winger who is 1v1 every single time. I need a Madueke every single time to run at someone and have a shot. Yeah. From the wide areas. If you're saying to me, I can't risk anything centrally, I can't have my six receiving the ball off a keeper, I can't carry through the centre of the pitch, I can't play 1-2 centrally in case I lose it because it's the most dangerous areas. I get that. I hear that. Then I absolutely need whip balls into the box with a big number 9 to put them in. I absolutely need my 1v1 wingers out wide and having shots and whatever. And we're not having that either. So
Arteta would argue that
it's not just an Arteta thing, as you say.
But he'll argue he has all this. Every winger says, no, we're told to go and take on the fullback and make things happen. Arteta will say, I want them to take on the fullback and be brave. People weren't happy with me with a little clip from Loose Cannons. I called Arteta a liar, which everyone kind of took a bit too seriously. I was just like, well, he does lie.
Do you think you change in that environment? Like, around Loose Cannons, you get scared?
Oh, I'm so angry all the time.
Yeah.
No,
an angry man.
But he does lie. Like and I don't mean that like about every manager lies. But he does lie. I mean, I don't know why we're pretending he does.
Everyone lies.
Yeah, everyone does, and managers do, and that's fine. But he does. And I remember when he said, he's basically heavily implying that he wants Ødegaard to be really high up the pitch, doesn't he? Really implying that. And it's like, but Ødegaard, who is like this can sound rude, but he's the good boy at school. He'll do what he's told. Yeah. Like, so all this time that he's been floating around the midfield, dropping into build-up, you're saying you don't want him to do that. No, it's never as black and white as that. No. He wants him to do a bit of that. He also wants him to do a bit of that, or whatever. But I ultimately think that we like analogies, don't we? Arteta feels a little bit to me like, it's a terrible one. This is like a really bad one. It's not very good, but I'll go with it anyway. it's like your parents saying, you can, when you're living at home, you can cook whatever you want for dinner. It's like, okay, but there's only like passata and some pasta. So do you want pasta and tomato sauce? No, make whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, but that's all I've got in the fridge. So I guess you want this for like a 7th week in a row, right? No, but honestly, go
do whatever you want.
But I don't have time to go get these things. You want, and it just.
And by the way, there's only a spoon and a pot.
Right. It just feels a little bit like that. Like I'm sure he always says, I want to win in any context. We want to be good at every aspect of the game. I'm sure that's all true. When it comes down to it, Zubimendi is not going to receive central if we haven't got our best ball progressors there, or if we don't focus the ball and punch the ball down the middle, or if there isn't someone to play a 1-2 with so that he can then give it and go. So I think Arteta wants to be the most complete manager, and I think he wants Arsenal to play every type of football and every brand needed. I genuinely believe that, but I don't think he prioritises the football we want to see. And that's fine. I think he'll win us the league anyway. I think we need 2
and
trophies.
And then we'll change.
Oh, I hope so.
And then
I think we will.
Also, I think the talent level in both the midfield and up front will change too.
So what do you think we're winning quickly? I think Premier League and FA Cup. And I think Barca will knock us out of the semis of the Champions League.
I think just the Premier League.
Cool.
I think
and we'll have a bloody great time of it.
Will, what are we winning?
Just Premier League. I was convinced, to be honest, we were going to win Premier League and Carabao. So I think now just Premier League.
These younger fans, just the Premier League. They don't even know.
They don't get it.
They don't know
They don't
the
understand.
hardship we've been through.
Do you know what I mean?
Just the Premier League.
How old are you, Will?
25. I have to think about that. 25. Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, you didn't see
Just get on with
Obafemi
the game.
Martins, did you?
Get on with
didn't
the game.
You didn't see. See, this is why I hate the Carabao Cup, because Obafemi Martins broke my heart in it when I was a young boy of, I think, still like 15, 16. But that's not the point, right? I hate this competition. Sack it off. Don't ever play a strong team in it ever again. That's my final conclusion. I hate it.
Before we go, James.
I thought that was a wrap up. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because we're only half an hour over. We meant to finish
Oh,
recording.
nice. Cool.
We obviously never criticise the manager,
No, never.
and we're incredibly deluded Arsenal fans who are the reason that Arsenal don't win anything. So let's lean into that. Down the barrel, why should Arsenal fans be positive?
Because in every single football match this season, I can't do this. I can't. Because in every single football match this season, I don't think I've ever been able to say this about Arsenal, ever. In every single football match, we've been in the game. Every single one. There has been an element of, even when we've not played well, we could win, or we can nick something here. Because what we are, if the game can be at its best this and at its worst this, Arsenal play here.
Yeah, the margins are...
The very best of a game, it's not great, but the very worst is only ever here. We keep everything tight into this little... And that means that in enough football matches, it's probably going to go your way when you've got a XG cheater in David Raya, when you've got the 2 best centre-backs in world football, I believe that, or at least the best partnership, and you've got enough quality, idea, territory, field tilt, enough to find the odd goal, to find the odd kind of moment. And I think when you look at the games against Brentford, Wolves, Brighton, Everton, those results could have flipped. We could easily have won at Brentford, won at Wolves, drawn with Everton, drawn with Brighton, but they didn't. We picked up 8 points out of 12, which isn't amazing, but that's probably about right for the way we play. So we will win the league, I believe, because we just keep it all nicely in that little margin.
That's well said. I've been, you know, Papa Pinkus.
Yes.
I actually really like his videos.
Yeah, I
think he's
see he
really
does
good.
a lot of the, like I like when he puts music behind it.
I think
and
he's
it's
really
kinda-
good. Like, it's not the sort of thing I'd do, but it's really good. I've been working on my impression of him, really. Arsenal are the best team. It's not bad, is
It's a
it?
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you two are friends.
No, I've DM'd him.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I like his content.
No, I know.
I do. Okay.
I do read.
I do
Sorry,
read. That was funny. I can read. Ready for my Papa Pinkus.
Okay.
MJ is going to put the music behind me. Arsenal? Oh, I need a script.
You do. You do. Everything
I can't
he said,
do it.
he's been reading off the
I
laptop.
can't. Yeah, this
This
entire
whole
podcast. There's a keyboard there. I
Yeah,
can't do
okay,
it.
and my line
Maybe
is...
I'll do a Papa Pinkus video
Okay, fine.
as like a little. But
collab with him.
I basically agree with what you said there. And
Do you have a James impression?
now, Arsenal fans, I'm not saying that
Good.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan, and I, you know, I really want us to win. So please don't get on me when I say this.
It's a good one.
I think we could be better in certain games, and now you have to understand.
That's a good impression. That's a really good impression. Okay, I'm going to do my Alex. Ready?
Go on.
Welcome back to... Sorry, it's the best I've got.
That's good. I like that you slid down in the chair
Yeah.
as well.
I'm trying
to stay up. This chair makes me slide down. You've got more. Come on. What's like a classic Alex take?
I don't know. No, I have to work on this. I'm going to have to think about this.
Will, you got an impression of me?
We'll just keep his job. I hear it. Fair play to you,
Smart
mate.
man.
Well done.
Good therapy. Thank you, boss.
Was needed. So what have we established? That we're winning it all, don't care about the Carabao Cup, and my life is really, really hard because I make football videos.
Same.
That's what
And
we've
I'm on par with
established.
Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for watching. And thanks
For watching. For keeping it Arsenal.
Very good.
Enjoyed that. That was a funny end.
Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. This was one kind of queue the ladies thoroughly enjoyed.
Electrifying. Ferocious.